Hello, everybody, and welcome to StarNet Link. And today's topic discussion, I thought I will go ahead and start sharing some of my information that I have learned about walk-ins, hybrids, indigos, crystals, whatever type of category that is. Most of the information that I have learned has come from talking to other people, doing research, and also listening to some of my clients that I work with. One of the things that I have learned about myself is that I am actually from talking to someone who is very prevalent in our community, that the reason why I have a quote unquote lot of contact or some sort of contact, whether it be physical, telepathic, spiritual connections to the astral realm. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a hybridized walk-in starseed. Some people, I'm not saying all people, but some people um, are just like walk-ins that don't have any hybridized energy. And that's because usually when a walk-in happens, it usually happens around before the age of 10 years old. In very rare circumstances does it ever happen in adults. There are a few cases that I have found on YouTube or online that people have claimed that they are walking as an adult, but did not know right off the bat until a couple of years later. And typically, this is not supposed to be happen the way that it's supposed to happen. Like, it's not supposed to happen when you are walking to happen as an adult. It usually happens while you're a child to allow the soul to adapt to the energy or to adapt to the environment that it's in. So when we are dealing with hybridized walk-ins like myself, usually when a walk-in happens, or usually the hybridized happens, is that the reason why they need the thing, hybridization part of it, is because when you're dealing with higher dimensional souls, or beings with certain genetics will not mesh with the type of energy that is found in the human body. Therefore, they need to have some sort of higher dimensional or DNA to activate or raise the vibration in the body in order to allow a certain type of walk-in soul. There are certain souls that do end up into a human body through different portal accesses. Depending on where a woman conceives a child, is usually a good indication whether or not there is a portal in that area or not, which can allow the soul to have more easier access to be a walk-in growing up. Now, there are many different reasons on why a walk-in happens. Usually it's a soul agreement. Usually the soul only wants to experience certain things and then soul swaps. This is usually happens before the age of 10. I have tried to help people distinguish the difference between a walk-in soul to a person who has DID or identity disorder. Um, a walk-in is completely different than a person who has DID or multi-personality disorder. A walk-in typically does not know that they are a walk-in until much later in life. It's very subtle. Like you won't notice the changes in this child that has is a walk-in. Sometimes the way that they eat food or certain foods that they like or certain things will change, but it's very, very subtle. A child who might have multi-personality disorder, you can really see the changes. Like one day there's this like shifting personalities day in and day out. Walk-ins have more a consistent change and it stays that way through the rest of their life. Where a person who has multi-personality disorder, their personality can shift day to day, hour by hour, depending on circumstances. And a lot of times, walk-in children are not abused as much as children who have did. Now, I'm sorry if that's misconstrued. It's not my intention to misconstrue this type of information, but a lot of children who do have multi-personality disorder has some way experience really, really bad trauma, like a really abusive trauma over and over and over again, creating multi-personality disorders to be used as a survival mechanism in that child growing up. And sometimes those personalities can start to deteriorate over time. Um, One of the things I'm going to tell people is I really do believe that we need to stop using indigo as a way to categorize starseeds. Now, I understand this might piss people off, but you have to understand the history behind that name. Indigo people or starseeds identify as indigo. That term was used to describe people who are autistic, people who have Asperger's syndromes, people who have cognitive disabilities, like people with Down syndrome. That was a term to be used for them. Some people in that community might see it as derogatory or covering up actual severe issues. Like it's just a name. We don't really want to like talk about that they do have autism, so we're just going to give them that they're just an indigo child with very special abilities, while it's actually masking their entire medical diagnosis that they have. There's a lot of information that I cannot talk about on YouTube, specifically about medical information. But at least from what I have known, that people who do have walk-ins. Now, I have been working with a lady called Mary who I interviewed about dowsing, and I'm trying to get her back on my YouTube channel to start talking about her quantum computer that she's trying to get a certificate for. She has found out through working with her clients, especially with me, that people who are walk-ins have a significantly lower vibrational frequency with her computer. Our body frequency vibration is extremely low. This does not mean that it's bad. It's a very interesting thing because it's showcases that this person is a walk-in, that they might be ciphering information or ciphering energy back and forth between the physical body or the soul body, that they have to limit how much energy can enter the body because this person might be an extremely high vibrational person that might end up deteriorating the body. One of the things that I do need to let people know is that if you're a walk-in or a person that's a hybrid and you don't try to acclimate yourself to the energy or the environment that you are in, you can start to deteriorate a lot more faster than regular humans, or deteriorate a lot faster. This is the reason why adapting to energy frequencies, adapting to Earth, like you have to understand that the environment does not change for you. You have to change the environment in order to get the environment to change for you, if that makes sense. And I have seen this happen through a lot of star seeds over and over again, where they cannot literally adapt to, like, they don't understand, like they have this major awakening, but they cannot adapt to financial stuff here on this planet. They get sick very easily because of the energy here. And it's like if you take the time to adapt to the energy and learn how to tune the frequency, you can learn how to change it and heal it and let it work for you. And this is very, very difficult and very, very hard to do, but it can happen. One of the other type of researches that I have learned is when I was a child, I used to have this habit of drawing an inverted rainbow. So where what I mean by inverted rainbow, where the center would be purple instead of red. And the bands of a rainbow would be inverted. So it would be violet would be in the middle, indigo, then blue, then green, then yellow, then orange, and then red. That would be like a inverted rainbow. I later found out that is actually a portal signature or a certain type of portal energy signature. So I have only heard one other person online that had talked about it, but I have to dig through my YouTube history in order to find that um YouTube video. But other than that, that is mostly what um I have researched. Now I don't know how many walk-in souls or star seeds might be connected to the stasis pod program. But I have noticed that people who are walk-ins before the age of 5 might have something to do with the stasis pod program. Children that have come in later, like before the age of 10, are usually part of a different type of hybridization program. People who are walk-ins as an adult are usually the outliers and are usually doing it for their own personal investment and not really for the benefit of humanity in a sense. Usually they are an experiment. For people who are walk-ins as an adult, that they are an experiment to see what will happen and see how much has changed. Sometimes they are just messengers where this agreement was made prearranged, but they don't know it at the time until they are quote unquote activated, if that makes sense. Um, one of the interesting things is that when I was working with Mary, that walk-ins have a different type of aura signature than they do with regular humans. And And this isn't supposed to make us better or worse than people, is in order to offer information on how to like help identify who you are and to in order to explain how walk-ins hybrids are created in a sense and the reason why they are created. A lot of it has to do with energy frequency. Um, More and more as I start to understand a lot more about the starseed stuff, the more that I realize that a lot of our energy signature or energy bodies have a lot to do with the direct ties to our physical health, in a sense. And um, mostly I try to stay away from diet or like foods and stuff because everybody has a different type of dietary restrictions or different dietary stuff. So I will never ever talk about dietary stuff because I don't really know what their medical background is. I don't know what foods they are allergic to, so I will not give advice on different dietary stuff. What I have realized is that people who do take vitamins that are not synthetic that you get from the grocery store, but more like the organic vitamins that say that they are organic, chances are that it order helps prevent it promotes more better health. Like they don't get sick as often, they don't get allergies as often. I have noticed ever since I've been using an air purifier and taking women's multivitamins that are organic and taking a metal detox once once every 2 or 3 weeks, that I feel a lot better. I'm not drained as much of energy. I don't get allergies as much, and I'm not fatigued, and I don't get sick. Like I don't get the flu as often. I also I prioritize sleep. One thing and the reason why I think a lot of people get sick very easily is because they're not prioritizing sleep. Yes, I do sleep more than 8 hours. And I found out through medical research that women have to take longer naps than men. That is just biologically because of how women's cycles and way of the female body operates. For men, it's a lot different. I do know that if women start to prioritize more sleep and taking multivitamins, they might see a drastic improvement of their health. I do know that I need to start drinking a lot more water. But other than that, like, I sort of realized that sometimes you don't need to take a drastic approach in your life to order to make more healthy improvements, because the last thing you want to do is go on a health cleanse to the point of it's actually ruining your health or destroying your health instead of actually improving it. There's a lot of stories about that, but that is some of the information that I have learned about hybrids, walk-ins, um, crystals. I do believe that the reason why we categorize indigo crystals is talking about different generations of star seeds. I think that's the reason why we have those categories, because it lets us know like what generation of star seed you are for these programs in a sense. And so that's the reason why we might label indigo, crystal. Um, I don't know what the other category is right now for the new generation, but I just believe that is just markers of how we are identified. There is another identifying marker that I have started to realize, which is the triangle mark. Some people have a mole mark on their body, whether it's their face, arms, legs, where they have a mole mark that is a perfect triangle, like a perfect triangle. It's not skewed, it's not um how do you want to say, distorted or anyway, like it's a perfect triangle. I have this mark on my arm. I do know that I've seen some people that maybe not be totally aware that they are starseeds have it on their face, like moles on their face. Some people have it on their legs. I don't know if that is a genetic marker for starseeds or not, or that is a genetic marker for certain types of blood groups or bloodlines with humans. I'm not entirely sure. But it's something that started popping up in the early 2000s that does need to get discussed a lot better. Some people might debunk this, but but it's interesting to talk about that type of area of research. Um so that is all the information that I have known about hybrids, walk-ins, and some of the research. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to get in contact with me, my business email is up front. If you guys want to donate or support me in any way, please leave. My donation links are down below if you want to support me. My business services, like if you want to book a session with me, are always open. There is a discount going on in October of this year, for 2024, where if you book a session with me, it's 50% off. The original price is 100, so that if you want to book a session with me, it's 50% off. So it'll be $50 for the 50% off. And if you refer someone, if they refer someone, that is another $25 off for them. So if you refer someone to me, they could literally get a reading for $25 if they tell me like who referred you, or show proof that they referred you in some sort of way, like you could literally get a reading for $25. Regular price is 100, so after October, it will go back to the original price again. But my services are still around. I also do energy work if you want to book some energy work with me. But I'm always here. But thank you guys so much for the support. I'm really sorry for the um, videos not coming out as they used to. I'm just extremely busy with school because I'm graduating this year. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support.